Well, Ms. Wingate, hang on. I'll tell you whether or not you are in my class. You are not. So, Dr. Lamb, that might be a question you can, he's here. That might be a question you could send him via chat. He'll be able to answer that for you.
Okay.
Hey, Dr. Lamb.
Hello, how's everybody?
Hi, Dr. Lamb.
Hi, Dr. Lamb.
Hey, hope everybody's has had a good week off. Seems like we just left, doesn't it? Hey.
Yes, it does. I think I'm in the wrong Zoom.
Man.
Sharif Inkster. I wonder if this the Sharif from Gaston County.
Sonia, are you in 603 or 605? You're in the right Zoom unless
I'm in 602.
Yeah, you're in the right place. That'd be Dr. Neal.
Yes.
Yep, she's and Dr. Burgess will be coaching with her. So yeah, this is everybody that
Bless your heart.
We don't
Oh, okay.
have any new folks this summer, so all of y'all are legacy students. It's good to see you all. And there's Sarah, as always, right at the center, the top of my screen. I don't know how Sarah always gets there. Sarah Wolf, how are you, Sarah? It's always good to see your smiling face.
I'm doing well. Thank you. I hope you are.
I'm doing great. I'm excited about summer school. We had a really good spring and everybody seems to be caught up or ahead. And that's real important going into this short session in the summer. Oh, yeah, this is for everybody that we still got. If you're in the MELS program, you're in the right place. 602, 3, 4, and 5. We do legacy for everybody. Then we'll do some individuals for those of you in 605 later. We'll do and we'll invite some of the others. We'll do an interviewing town hall as we do every semester. We'll do that, and then we'll do one. And but yeah, this is just to get everybody kicked off and back in the swing of things tonight so that we can get started. I don't know that anybody's having class tonight. Could be, but I know the classes, I start tomorrow night with my 03 section of 603. We meet tomorrow night. And then the 04 section, we meet Wednesday nights.
Okay, I thought we were supposed to meet tomorrow night. I mean, Wednesday night.
The 04 section, the Gaston section, 04 meets Wednesday night. The 03 section meets Tuesday. So make sure, and that's part of where we'll start. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the MELS program. Again, as always, thanks for choosing us and thanks for choosing Gardner Webb. That's part of what we're doing tonight is make sure everybody's in the right place. There's such a short period of time between graduation and getting that off the set of books and getting the new semester. Used to be a 2-week in between, but now it's just 1 week, as you know. So main thing tonight is make sure everybody knows where they are and where they're supposed to be. So let me share my screen and we'll just dive right in. So all right, so make sure that if you're in 605 that you have already applied for graduation. If not, they'll charge you a late fee, but make sure that you've applied if you're in 605. If you're in 604 or 603, they'll be sending out an email soon. Be looking for it. Don't let it check your spam and your junk mail. If you're in 603 add-on or 604, and you finish in the fall, you'll be applying for graduation within the next week or so. So be looking for that email. It does not come from me.
Dr. Lamb, I want to make, excuse me. Can you mute everybody because
I just did. I just muted everybody. Please remember that if you graduate in the fall, either masters, we'll all be masters in the fall. Within the next week or so, the registrar's office will send you a reminder and a link to apply for graduation. Please remember that does not come from me. I simply remind you as a courtesy, but that's all on the registrar's office. And don't make me go up there. I'm too old to have to bend and grovel too much. Don't make me have to go up there and plead for you not to have to pay a late fee. So they don't like that. So make sure when you get that email, again, if you're in 603 add-on this summer, or if you're in 604 regular masters, you will graduate in December. Make sure that you understand that you've got to apply during the summer session to graduate. If you wait till the fall to apply, they'll charge you a late fee. So make sure that you do that. For those of you who want to move from the add-on to the second master's for the fall, you want a second master's degree at the December commencement rather than a certificate. I sent you a link last week to apply to change catalogs. There is that email, you'll need to pull it up, but you'll need to go in and do that so that you can get a second master's degree at December graduation. And that's a reminder, there is no commencement for after summer school. Although you 605s will be through, we'll do the whole degree evaluation, we'll turn your name in for licensure to the state and get you in the portal. There won't be a ceremony, so all of you summer folks will be invited to the fall December graduation commencement. And now last year we did the morning in the arena, the basketball arena, and then we went to Tucker and had the College of Education ceremony where we put a hood on you and you get to go across the stage and do all that stuff, make a big deal out of you. So remember, that won't happen this summer. That will happen in December. So again, although you will graduate at the end of the summer session, you will not get to celebrate that graduation in your cap and gown and hood until December. But we will have a big spectacle in December for all of you. So make sure, check your email, you 603 add-ons and any 604s, make sure that you check your email this summer for that link to apply for graduation for December. And again, those who are finishing this summer, you will not have a ceremony until December. We will invite you back. You'll get all the information. You will stay in the loop. All right, so let me check the chats right quick. Somebody checking those?
And Dr. Lamb, just to confirm, those of us in 605 that finish up this summer, we will also have the second master's?
You will not have the second master's this summer. The folks
Okay.
who are in 603 can apply. Now, that's a good question. And I still don't have a definitive answer. I know that you can't apply right now. They're not allowing it, but I've run a suggestion up the tree. What if you folks didn't apply or didn't graduate this summer? Could you wait and graduate in the fall and get a second master's and somehow maintain continuous enrollment? Now, it might be that you have to take like a 697 for a 1 hour credit. I'm trying to see if I can work out a deal for y'all. I do have the deal worked out for the 603s. Y'all will get to apply to change catalogs and you'll get a second master's in December, although you came in under the old catalog. For those of you finishing this summer, it's been a no so far, but I'm trying to go at it from a different angle to see if I can get somebody up the line to bite on that. Because I know some of you would also would like, that are finishing this summer, the add-on would like a second master's. I'm trying to work that out. Right now, it's looking like, you know, I don't know that it'd be worth it if they make you do a 3 hour course this fall. An internship would just be a pass fail and you just wait to the end, because that's nearly $2,000. 1 hour is be like $540 or something like that. I'm trying to work it out where it won't cost anything if I can get it worked out, but I'll be the first. I haven't gotten it worked. I've got the one done for, as y'all saw this past week, I did get the one done for the 603s. That was like moving a mountain. Now I've got to move a second mountain and see if I can get you 605s on the same deal somehow. But if you go ahead and finish this summer and say, I want my certificate and apply for my license, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off. I think you're going to have to keep your registration open, not apply for not graduate, not have the degree evaluation, and not get your license. and then come back and just be on the books for the fall. You wouldn't have to do anything other than pay. So that's the best I can do right now as I'm working on that.
And
We'll
Dr.
see.
Lamb, there's a couple of questions about some of the 605s ended up being charged 150 instead of the 75. And I guess that's a question of, will they get a refund or what next, or?
Well, if you applied late, you won't. They charge you $75 late fee. If you applied on time, I'll send me your name and I'll see if I can adjudicate that, as I said, with the registrar or student accounts. I'll have to talk to Luann and Becky about that. I'll see if I can figure that out. And they'll look up your account. So let me know if you paid, if you're finishing this summer and you're an add-on in 605 with Dr. Stone, and you're finishing this summer, then let me know and I'll see if I can figure out why they charge you 150 rather than 75. Just send me an email. All right, so let's look at our classes. For those of you who are in the full 5-semester master's program, you obviously will get a master's degree. It will be conferred again. You won't celebrate it until December, but it will be conferred at the end of August. You're with Dr. Stedman. You got to do your MELS 605 Blackboard coursework. You got to finish the CAP and the SIOP, and then the rest of your portfolio. So the dates on that, very important. The 6 evidences for you are due by Monday, July 18th at 9 a.m. to allow enough time for possible revision and evaluation. And then the whole portfolio for licensure is due the following Monday, the 25th at 9 a.m. in order for you to complete by that week. Now, those are, those are pretty firm. I'll work with you all I can that last week, but I know by Wednesday you won't, if you aren't done by Monday, you won't be in the, they'll make me do something to get you through, but we'll try our best with you. But those are the dates. Now, the same thing goes for the add-on licensure folks with Dr. Sanders and Dr. Stone. You'll have to do your 605 Blackboard coursework. Don't forget to do it. Don't come up and finish your portfolio and not have completed the course itself. And again, you got to do the CAP and the SIOP and do your final competency, the last round of it, and get everything done in your competency folio. When it's complete, there's a video in your 605 class show on how to upload it in your DRF portfolio for grading. Now, you can't just share it. You have to upload it. There's a specific way that you do that. You upload it in your DRF portfolio and it is evaluated. That's both. Everybody that's in 605 this semester has to complete their competency folio in TaskStream. That's where you put your artifacts in for the 21 competencies. When you get all 63 of them in there, you move it over, you publish and you can share the link, but you got to move it over to your DRF portfolio where it is evaluated. So that, make sure that you understand that just finishing it, then you got to move it to have it evaluated. There is a video, a short video, like 2.5 minutes that I did that is in your class shell, and we'll go over that with you later in the semester to make sure that you get that done. So again, the requirements are the same for the masters and the add-on this summer. You got to do the CAP and the SIOP. You got to finish your DRF portfolio. And inside of that's got to be your competency folio with your artifacts. Make sure that your DRF, when you move your competency folio into your DRF for evaluation, please make sure that it's complete. It's a bear for me to send that thing back for you to finish it. So when we go in and look at it, we count and make sure you've got 3 for all 21 before it goes to the state. Please don't, I will count, but sometimes, 21 or 23 is beyond how many fingers and toes I have, and sometimes I miss it. We don't want that thing to come back when this thing is submitted to the state for evaluation. It's just very simple. Just make sure there's three artifacts for each of the 21 competencies before you move it, and then we'll be fine. Again, important dates, Monday, the 18th, to have all 6 of your evidences in so that they can be evaluated. The following Monday, the 25th, everything's got to be done in your task string and portfolio, including your competency folio. So please make sure that that's done. We're on short time. Many of you got a extra got on the cap this spring and got a lot of that done, and you'll see this summer, as much as there is to do in 8 or 9 weeks, you'll see why we pushed you so hard this spring to get that cap done, or at least get it started. All right, for those of you who are in 603 full master's program this summer, the 5-semester program that we finish in this, those of you who finish in the spring, that's sections O, 03, and 04. O is with Dr. Tobias this summer. I have 03 and 04. As I said, my 03 section meets on Tuesday night from 6 to 8. And then my 04 section meets on Wednesday night from 6 to 8. Now, once we meet class tomorrow and Wednesday night, we might can push that back if y'all want to go. I normally start at 7, but since this is just a 10-week semester, please remember our classes are going to be a little longer than an hour. They're going to average about an hour and a half. And then on case study night, they may go the full 2 hours. And so I don't have a problem going from 7 to 9, but most students prefer to go from 6 to 8. But if the vote of the group, when I get you there, we can move it back. But please remember, classes in the summer are going to be a little longer because we, instead of having 16 weeks, we only have 10. So we have to cover the same material. So don't be surprised when that hour mark comes up on your classes and you're still going strong. It's probably going to be closer to an hour and a half. But for you folks who are with me and Dr. Tobias this summer, you're going to be doing the OMA. You will complete your SOE dispositions. There is no competency analysis in your DRF, and you'll do 12 artifacts of the 21 this summer. You'll make sure that you put those in to keep your task string competency folio up to date. The 603 add-ons, you're with Dr. Caton and Maraglia. You will have the OMA and the skip to do this summer. It's going to strain you. That's 8 tasks, and you've got 8 weeks to do them. So y'all better be on it. And I know they'll get it out of you. And you have to do a complete round of 21 artifacts in your competency folio. So, you got to be about it. You got to get after it this summer. You got to catch another year. Your classes again will be longer because you're covering more material. So make sure that you really got to get after it in the summertime. You add on folks with 2 evidences with 4 tasks each. That's a lot in a short summer session. So make sure that you're prepared to get after it pretty hard. And then the last group that we have with us tonight is the 602 group, master's group with Dr. Neal and Dr. Burgess will be her coach. You just got to do the APTEL, which only has 4 tasks. So that should be plenty of time. You've got to, again, do 13. You got to do 9 artifacts for your competency folio. In task stream, you did 13 as a result of having done the APTEL this spring. So you'll have 9 more. So by the end of the summer, you should have 1 complete round done. All of your competencies in your competency folio should have 1 artifact with them. As a reminder, as I said, Gardner-Webb has stopped summer commencement exercise. If you were to finish this summer, you're invited to the fall commencement exercises in December. Dr. Stone is always very kind. He will coordinate a video celebration. We do want to celebrate you at the end of summer. Now, you'll get to come back with us in the fall, but we don't want to miss an opportunity to celebrate you at the end of your program. And he does that very well. You'll have that toward the end of your program. Some of us will come, a lot of your instructors. That's a real celebration, although it's video, but you get to see us live and in person in December. So we'd love for you to come back. And as always, it happens every time. The one we had 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, somebody remarked again that I was a lot taller in person than I appeared on Zoom, and I have to remind them, I'm sitting down when I do Zoom sessions. So if you want to see how big and tall I really am, you got to come in December and visit me. So please remember that you got to do your internship log this summer. We cautioned you this spring. That may be the most difficult thing you have to do this summer. Everybody's already in the swing of things and knows how the evidences work and task stream and all those things. The issue is getting those 80 hours this summer. Now, please remember, you can't say, well, I did extra hours this spring. No, you got to get 80 every semester. That includes the summer. I would probably go and volunteer at the school for a couple of weeks after school was out, and help them with scheduling or, whatever they're doing at the school to get some hours. But yeah, you're going to have to do that. Wendy's raised her hand. Wendy, you can unmute yourself and ask me what you need to.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I don't know how that happened. I don't have a
Okay.
question right now. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. But again, make sure that you figure out a way to get 80. You can go back to your clinical handbook that has all the suggested activities. And you can also, because if your school is not in session, you can do any of those video activities as well, because it says as long as school is not in session, we can substitute those. So go back to your clinical handbook that has your suggested activities to get your 80 hours. It has a sheet, if school's in session, you can do any of these. When school is not in session, any of those video or virtual activities, you can count those as well. But
Dr. Lamb,
yes,
my question was on the hours, like, can we, once school's out, we can still go in and get like 8 hours in a day or not?
absolutely.
Okay. I was just wondering, because I know on some things it said no more than 4 or 5 hours, but that's what
Yeah.
we were
But-
asked. And the other question I had was the summer program. I know we were told last spring that we would get an add-on, get a second master's, and a lot of people are talking about it in the chat, but now we're hearing we're only going to get an add-on.
That is correct right now. Now, the folks who are in 603 this summer definitely can. I'm still working on a deal to see if we can do that. That has been, again, this is not a Gardner-Webb decision. Let me be clear on that. This is a state licensure decision, and we're still having to negotiate that with them. Now, the folks in the fall, they're switching catalogs, and they're going to be allowed to, because they're still, they'll be grandfathered in. The problem is the folks this summer, that unless you're still in, they're looking to license you this summer. Again, state licensure requirements have changed 3 times this spring.
Well,
We're
then
just
I'm
trying
going to
to
go
stay
on.
ahead of it.
I'm gonna go on Mark's comment on that then. If we do the licensure, can we still come back in the fall to extend it to a master's? Because
Well, that's part of the question. That's what I'm trying to get.
Okay.
If we go ahead and do the licensure now, can they then come back in the fall with continuous enrollment and do the masters at December? Again, these are questions that DPI has to answer for us.
Okay.
In terms of what we can do. But
but I think that's where the confusion on the graduation fee is, because we all applied for the master's not
Right.
knowing.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. And they can refund your money, and that will be some solace if we can't get this pulled off. But again, it's all about, we don't grant the license, and that's the deal. This, DPI and South Carolina's Department of Education are the people that grant the licenses, and we have to make sure that we stay within those requirements. I've been grinding on those today from South Carolina. They've added that you have to complete the program to be a program completer. They've added that for an MSA. They've added that as well. They've also split the license into an elementary and secondary in South Carolina, and we're still trying to get around what we can do to get folks through that process as well. licensure coming out of COVID has changed a lot. We're trying to stay ahead of it, but you know, it's not much salvation for the folks finishing the summer, but the folks in the fall, we've got it worked out. I've just got to figure out a way to figure it out for the ones in the summer.
And Dr. Lamb, there's a question, a couple of comments. So those in add-ons in 605 right now, do they not need the second master's in school administration to satisfy North Carolina?
They don't. They won't, because they're finishing before August. They won't. See, that's so if you finish this summer with your add-on and you're fine with that, you're going to get your license. The new licensure requirements don't kick in till August. And so that's why the folks from the fall that are finishing in the fall, that's why we're able to offer that, switch catalogs, and then they'll meet the requirements in the fall. But the summer people, I've got to figure out what we could do to get them a second master's, because they don't need it. They don't need it for licensure. It would just be something that would be good to have. You're still going to get your license if you finish with the add-on. The second master's is something good to have. And it may be that we can't grant that until December. Then the question would be is, how could we keep you enrolled through the fall where you could do that, get the second master's in December without it costing an arm and a leg? I'll just tell you, what we've been doing for years is folks finish the add-on, come back and do the 2 courses, and we charge them 12 hours, which is $6,000. That's what it's been costing. I'm trying to figure out, and you could still do that, but there's no need to, there's no need for that. If we can figure out a way that we could keep you enrolled, that it wouldn't cost a fortune, you wouldn't have to pay that $6,000 to come back. That's what I'm working on. We already have that in place. You can do that now. You can come back in the fall, take 602 and 4, get a master's degree in December graduation along with your previous add-on certificate, but that's going to be probably $6,500 because the hourly rate now above $500 a credit hour. That's 12 hours. That'd be $6,000 plus the fees, probably be $6,500. We have a lot of people who opt to do that, but we're trying to figure out a way around that.
Dr. Lamb, there's a questions about how to get licensure in South Carolina.
Wendy will send out a letter.
And a question about the practice exam.
Only the South Carolina people need to take the practice right now. The folks who start with us in the fall in North Carolina will have to take the practice. But nobody that's in North Carolina that's on with us tonight has to take the practice. Let me say that again. Nobody that's on with us tonight who's already finished at least 1 course in the MELS program from North Carolina, none of you will have to take the practice. Everybody from South Carolina has to take the practice. Doesn't matter where you are. That's already been a requirement for them. North Carolina is changing to that same requirement, but it doesn't kick in until August 1st. And if you've completed at least 1 course with us prior to that, you will not have to take the practice. North Carolina people, nobody on the screen tonight has to take the practice. Now, the caveat to that is if you want to get licensed in South Carolina as well, you have an exit plan where you're going to go to South Carolina and work, double dip, pull your retirement in North Carolina and double dip in South Carolina. You will have to take the praxis. If you want a South Carolina license, doesn't matter where you are, where you come from, that you got one in North Carolina, doesn't matter. South Carolina requires the praxis for everybody who gets a license in South Carolina. North Carolina doesn't until August 1st. So everybody on the screen from North Carolina, you don't have to. Everybody on the screen from South Carolina, you have to. If you're from North Carolina and you want to become a South Carolina, then you have to.
Dr. Lamb, this is Dr. Talent.
Yeah.
I would remind the students, the South Carolina folks, that there is a link in Blackboard for the study materials and the information. And just, from experienced students in the past, once you have completed the 6 evidences and the DRF portfolio, you are well prepared.
You're well prepared.
Well prepared. 100, I think it's 120 multiple choice, and doesn't cost what it used to. I think it's about 140 or something now, but it is I've not heard anybody say that they weren't well prepared to take that test.
We have, if you go to our MELS scale handbook and you look at the grading rubrics for all of our evidences, you will see that we have crosswalked all the standards and all the questions basically that you're going to be asked are embedded in the work that you do for your evidences. That's the preparation that we do. We are 100%. We've never had a student not pass, and we've had hundreds of South Carolina people. Everyone has passed the praxis. Again, if you do your evidence work, you will be in your classes, you will be prepared to do it. Just take that free study exam, that exam study guide, practice test, just take it, you'll be fine. That's all you need to do. And I would say to you, North Carolina people, if you're thinking about ever applying for a license in South Carolina, now would be the time to take the praxis. It's good for a number of years and before you forget all this stuff that you've learned. So if you're thinking down the road that, hey, I may want to jump across the line and double dip, remembering that in North Carolina, you can't work. The only place that you can work in North Carolina and double dip is a private college. You can't go from one school district to the next. You can't go to a state college. You can't go to a community college. It's all the same retirement system. The only way that you can double dip is either to go to another state or work for a private college. Now, private college jobs are few and far between because the model now is just like what we have. We have myself, Dr. Stone, Dr. Sanders that work, and Dr. Stone and Dr. Sanders actually work in part-time in 2 other programs. The other, of the 31 MELS faculty, the other 28 are part-time people. They work with us about full-time, but what I mean is there's not that many full-time positions in private colleges. There's a lot of positions in community colleges and state colleges, but that's the same retirement system. You can't double dip. You can't get your salary and your retirement for those. And so what a lot of people do is they go across the line and work in South Carolina, and vice versa. South Carolina people come across, and as soon as they get vested, they get their time in their state, they go across and work another 10 or 15 years until actual retirement time.
Dr. Lamb, we have 2 hands up, Ms. Richardson and Ms. Parker.
Okay.
Yes, I was wondering, I'm sorry, Ms. Richardson. I'm sorry. I was wondering, I know we had to turn in our clinical log with a certain amount of hours that's done, but once we turn that log in with the signature and we're still working, can we count those hours as well?
If you've turned it in with the signature for 80 hours, then you wouldn't add, there'd be no need to add to it.
No, for the summer, when we turn it in our summer log.
When you turn in your summer log.
Yes.
Right. So she's thinking she's finished her 80 hours for 603. Now you want to start on the 80 hours for 605. May 1st was the deadline. So anything after May 1st can count toward 605. Is that right, Dr. Lamb?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So anything after May 1st could go to your summer log, as long as you had 80 in your spring log. Yes. Yeah, you can count those.
My question is, if I have an employer that is interested in hiring me, it's safe to say that I can tell them I will have my admin add-on licensure added to my license by the end of July.
You will have it, but you won't have it in hand for. I mean, the state won't put it on the website and send you the certificate in the mail for months. But yes, you will have it as soon as your degree evaluation is done. And we have marked you off the list and you're in the portal. That is correct. You will be clear for hire by August 1st. Now, when they'll send you that stuff, we've still got people from December waiting on it. North Carolina.
Someone could access it online should they need to verify that it's completed.
They won't be able to. You won't be online. They'll verify it with our licensure officer that you are.
And you also stated you could write a supporting letter or something, letting them know?
Yes, we have a letter that says you have completed requirements and that it's just waiting. I will do, normally she does the letter, but I will do the letter. I'm helping her out with that because we have such a backlog of those. Normally she has to write 2 or 3 letters. I think in the last 2 months, I've probably written 50. Because as I said, we're still pending people from last calendar year. They're running, DPI is so far behind, they have posted a statement on the website, licensure website, that it's taken more than 3 months for them to update and put you in the portal. Now, what more than 3 months is, I don't know how much more than 3 months is. It's been since December and counting. So how many months is that already? 5 or 6? And we've seen no relief in sight. Most of our people from December still have not been updated. And we had a big bunch in December, so that's why I'm writing letters all day, every day. But
Well,
it's
and to
not.
add another piece to that, what some school systems are doing, you go ahead and begin the job, and then once that license comes in, the pay would be retro, you know, as evidence of when you completed the program.
Right.
So that's just for information.
Yeah, it's frustrating right now, but DPI has laid off a bunch of people and a bunch of people left, and so we can't make them go any faster. But we'll accommodate you. We'll get you a letter that says that you got it. We're just waiting for them to update it. You know, they've already checked it. It's already been approved. It's just getting it updated is the issue. But again, that's a DPI deal. They should have thought about some of this stuff earlier, but you know, they didn't. And so we're where we are. But again, that's back to trying to figure out how to get you folks from this summer a master's degree as well. There's nobody there that, you know, there's one person and he rarely gets back to you. So it's hurry up and wait on that one. But we'll do the best we can for you folks. I can't make, you know, the folks for the fall, the add-ons for the fall, you're going to get a second master's in December. For those of you this summer, we're not there yet, but we're working on it. But again, got a couple months here, but you know, I don't know how soon I can get any kind of response from them. What we don't want to do is do something that causes another delay in your licensure or causes a problem with licensure. We have to make sure that we stay in line with what they do or don't do. So that's our issue. Okay, let's see. Moving on. For those of you who are going into MELS 603 this summer, 603 add-ons who would be normally taking 605 in the fall. As we've told you already, we're offering a special deal for y'all where y'all can finish up, and rather than having 605 in the fall with Dr. Stone, you'd have 730 in the EDLS program and start your doctorate in ed leadership. It's a 2-year program. We've already been online and explained this. For those of you who are finishing this summer who want to go in, you would just start 730 in the fall. I have the names of the folks who you would get in touch with if you're interested in the doctoral program. We have 3. We have one in curriculum instruction, which leads to a curriculum instruction license. We have one in leadership, which leads to the superintendent's license. And we have one in organizational leadership that doesn't lead to any license. It's for folks who are in nonprofits, city, county government, and community colleges. It's our version of a higher ed degree. And so Dr. Hamilton is in that one. And so again, it's only for 603 that are with Dr. Maraglia and Dr. Caton. You can accelerate into 730 in the fall in the EDLS program. Saves you several $1,000s. You don't pay for, I think, maybe $3,500. It saves you if you're interested in your doctoral program. If you want more information, send one of these folks email or send it to me and I'll get it to them. So don't forget, we are recruiting for different cohorts in the fall. Right now, the cohorts are looking to be in Goldsboro, Charlotte, Thomasville, and main campus. Remember, doctoral programs have a residency component. Gardner Webb does theirs on Saturdays and Sundays, 3 semesters, three weekends a semester. You would have face-to-face class all weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 4 on Saturday. And Dr. Stone, y'all try to get through what, 1 or 2 on Sunday afternoon, something like that.
Yes, we usually try to start about 9, finish up about 1:30.
On Sundays. And that's your residency component of your doctoral program. Then you have what, 6 or 8 weekly class sessions as well on Zoom.
7 to 8.
7 to 8. 7 to 8, and then 3 weekends. So it's a little bit different format, but we try to have the residency sessions on the weekend somewhere near where you live. Again, Charlotte, Thomasville in the Greensboro, the Triad area, and out in the eastern part of the state in Goldsboro at Wayne Community College. And then for the western part of the state, we have here at the main campus here in Boiling Springs, which is about an hour from Asheville, on the west side of Shelby. So we're looking for those. Please remember, if you choose to go to the EDCI program or the EDLS program and you work and live in Rutherford, Cleveland, Gaston, or Lincoln, they have a substantial discount for you as well, called the Foothills Collaborative. You get a big amount of money off. Now, people ask me, what's it cost to go to the doctoral program at Gardner Webb? About $35,000. It's not cheap. Of course, it's not cheap anywhere. Even state colleges and doctoral programs, I noticed they're a lot even more expensive than we are. But we do have this. If you live in one of those counties, you can accelerate from 603 and skip 605, which will save you $3,500. We have a couple of tricks to save you a little bit of money if we can. But again, and I said all that to say this is an unprecedented time. Licensure is changing. A lot of different things are happening. And this is a response to a lot of people retiring and leaving the business due to what happened during COVID. A lot of jobs out there. Now, I tell people all the time, I cannot guarantee that you will get a job just because you get, another degree. But I can guarantee you won't get the job if you don't have it. The doctorate opens a lot of doors, just as, the add-on licensure, the certificates, the master's, the licensure opens a lot of doors. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. A lot of opportunities out there. As always, here are the definitions of the folks. Clinical coach 1, if you're having a problem at your site with your hours, you get in touch with that person. The clinical coach 2 is paired with your instructor and works with you on your evidences. Please make sure that when you go to Blackboard, let me go to Blackboard right quick so you can see this. And you're looking at my courses. You will have like 602, and the companion to that is 697. There it is. There's the companion one that goes with it. Some of you will have more than one companion. You may have a clinical shell with your coach's name on it, like Dr. Talent's name will be on it, or Dr. Barnes. That's their personal shell that they use. They'll work with you in that shell, rather than the one that says 697 or 698. Make sure that you're working in the proper shell with them. Some of them have their own shells. They have a lot more things in them, but everybody should be in a shell. Now, I'll talk to my folks, the 603 section 3 and 4 folks. You're going to work with me exclusively this summer. And so, because the numbers are so low, I've only got 14 in each section. So you're going to work with me. I'll do my own coaching. You'll put all your stuff in our class shell. I do that all the time anyway. I'm a little bit different. I like to read your work because I'm the one has to recommend you for a job. If you're in my class, I coach the work along, and I'll turn it around the same day, just like the coaches do. It will not sit there. I grade morning and afternoon. I'm old. I'm up early. And I get up early and go to bed late. I will grade morning and evening every day. Saturdays, Sundays, doesn't matter. I will turn your work around every day. That's an expectation. We have to turn your work around quickly in the summertime. I will turn yours around the same rate as the coach would turn theirs around. But you know, if I have you in my class and I'm asked to do a recommendation, I like to have a good idea of your work. So you will work exclusively with me. Everybody else will work with a coach.
Dr. Lamb, we have a hand up and we have a question about 603. Just to confirm, do they meet on Tuesday nights or Wednesdays?
The 03 section of 603, let me show you that. So here is summer 22. So if you go to the 03 section of 603 with me, it says we're going to meet on Tuesdays from 6 to 8 if you're in that section. 603, 03 section with me, we're going to meet on Tuesdays. Conversely, if you're in the 603, 04 section from Gaston County, you will meet with me on Wednesdays as we have planned from the very beginning. Again, there it is. Now, and here's the beauty of that. I will not be running those two together. I'll run one on Tuesday night and I'll run one on Wednesday night. Now, here's the good news for, this is a one-time offer. If you're in one of those classes and you can come Tuesday, but you can't come Wednesday, and Wednesday's your night, you can come to the Tuesday night class. Or you can come, if you're Wednesday, you can come to either one of those you want to come to during the week. I'll offer you that because I'm going to coach your work anyway. It's not like you're going to have different coaches for different nights. Because I coach my own work, I'm going to have class 2 nights a week for your convenience. I know how hard summer is to have. You got a lot of things going on. So I'm going to have Tuesday night class and I'm going to have Wednesday night class. And if some week you can't come on Tuesday night, you can come on Wednesday night. Now, make sure you understand though, you're going to have groups and you're going to do your case studies. You need to show up with your group on case study night in your class. But the other nights, the first 2 or 3 especially, not important. I'm going to cover exactly the same material on Tuesday as I do on Wednesday until we get to case studies, and then your groups will, make sure you're there with your group to present your case studies. That's just my classes. That's just my 2 for this summer. But I do that to have a little more flexibility. So yes, Tuesday night for the 03, Wednesday night for the 04. All right, the other question?
There was a hand up. Shawana, I think. Shawan. Sorry.
Yes, it's Shawan. It's Shawan. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I hate to beat a dead horse. However, those of us in 605 that's finishing this summer, how long should we wait before we decide if we're going to get the actual second master's or just continue with getting the add-on?
Well, you just keep going. And I'll tell you if we get that option before summer's out.
Oh, okay.
There's no change. The programs are the same. There's nothing to do. There's just, will they let us press one button rather than the other? I mean, everything I've lined, the add-on is exactly the same as the master's. Now that was like turning a battleship. That's been a 4-year deal. But now, so the only thing now is at the end of the summer, will they press one button or the other, or will we offer you some kind of option for the fall where you can come back and apply to change and do something in the fall? Right now, it's just a certificate until I can get it. For the folks in 605 this summer add-on, it's just certificate right now, unless I can get in somebody's ear and get them to change what's going on right now. I've got that done for the 603 people finishing in the fall. Got that done for them. But I have not got that done. But again, this is not a Gardner Webb thing. And so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's no contract here other than I've been working on this. And so it doesn't matter how many times you ask me, the answer is going to be until I can get it worked out, if I can get it worked out, for those of you finishing the summer. And so, again, that's a state licensure decision. They have granted us the people in the fall, but they've not granted the others yet. Whether they will or not, I don't know. All I can do is just keep asking and trying to figure out. But they have granted the folks for the fall that option. And so we've
Dr.
already
Lamb-
got that set up.
And Dr. Lamb, the add-ons still don't march in commencement, do they?
No, but they get to cross the stage in the College of Ed. But now if you get a second master's, you'll get to be in commencement. Yeah. But you do get to come across the stage in the College of Ed either way. You get to come up and go across. Yes. Either way. And so again, we're working on that. That's still on the burner. But again, I can't tell you if or when it'll happen. It's been approved only for the ones who are finishing in the fall. That's all I can tell you on that. All right, other questions that we had. Somebody had a question about 3 blackboard shelves. Got one for your class, one for your internship, and one for your coach. That's what I was just referring to. If you've got one that's got your coach's name, they're probably going to use that one rather than the internship one. They have that option because that one's already built out. Some of the coaches have their own shelves and they prefer to work in their own shelves. You say, well, why don't they? Because they have multiple. The coaches that have multiple sections that they are coaching this summer, rather than having work scattered across 3 sections or shelves, they all have it in one. That's why, because it makes the world a whole lot easier for them to get back to you as fast as we turn work around in the summertime. They don't have to go to 3 different places to try to find it. It's all in one place. That's why. So Dr. Barnes coaches 3 different sections this summer. All of her work, she wants it in one shell, in one place every day. A lot easier. It takes a lot of time to go switch between shells and go find other work. I know she will do that. Dr. Bullis, he has his own shell. He's coaching, I think, 4 sections this summer. The folks who are coaching multiple sections, we allow them, we designed their own shells. We allow them a common shell. And I've already put all of you in that common shell. I did that yesterday. So I have to do that manually, each one of you individually, so that it helps them with their turnaround time on grading. Simply, again, we have to change the rules a little bit in summertime when you go from 16 weeks to 10 weeks. We have to do everything we can to cut our turnaround time down. We want to keep you on track this summer to either graduate, complete, or to move on to the fall. And it's not as easy as it looks.
2 hands up, Dr. Lamb, Ms. Green and Ms. Bernard.
Okay.
Hey, Dr. Lamb, it's Jennifer.
Hey.
How are you? I have a quick question about the cap. If it's been finished in 603, is there anything that I need to do in 605 for the cap?
Just upload it in the final evidence narrative Dropbox.
Thank you.
That's all you have to do.
Excellent. Thanks.
And Jennifer was one of my stars this summer that finished her cap. We had a couple. Well, we had more than a couple. We had several that finished with me this summer. We had a big time. We went fast. It went extremely well this spring. We had a big time. And so we had a bunch to finish.
Hey, Dr. Lamb. I have 603 and it says that I'm with Dr. Caton and Lena, and we meet on Wednesday nights. But it's 603, which I thought was with you. So I'm a little confused.
No, I don't have any add-ons this summer. I only have the I only have the 03 and the 04. I don't have C2 or C4. I'm not teaching any add-ons this summer. I'm only doing masters. So if you are in add-on 603, you'll be with Dr. Caton or Dr. Maraglia.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you'll be with
Dr.
them
Lamb,
this summer.
there's a question about South Carolina for you to explain South Carolina's dual level certification requirements.
Yep. They have split their North Carolina people. Please close your ears and don't ask me 1,000 questions. You're still K-12 in North Carolina. This does not apply to you. So let me say that again, North Carolina people, this does not apply to you. This is only South Carolina people. They have split your licensure into elementary and secondary, K-8, 9, 12. Don't ask me why. They didn't ask me when they made this decision. I'd have told them it was a damn fool idea. They didn't ask me. So they have split it into 2 different licensure paths now. And it's, you think I'm grumbly about this, our licensure officers could strangle somebody. So here's the deal. We're going to recommend you based on where you got your clinical hours. So if you'll go out, say you're an elementary person and you want secondary, if you'll go out and get somebody to sign off on at least 40 hours of your 80, any particular semester, I'll sign off that you should get a secondary as well until they tell me I can't do that. We will not make you do a whole semester, but this summer would be an excellent time for you to go to the local high school if you're an elementary or middle school person, somewhere in K-8, you go to the local high school and get at least 40 hours and have that principal sign your log of 40 hours you did in secondary. But where you get experience in your clinical is what determines what license you get. And so that's just their new rule. When you go to the licensure portal for the South Carolina Department of Education, you'll see that. They offer 2 different versions. Now, that doesn't mean we can't recommend you for both. And if you're in high school, if you go get some hours in, either middle or elementary school now, a fate worse than death. If you go do that in middle school, we'll recommend you for both coming that way either. Why anybody would choose to go to middle school is beyond me, but to each their own.
Ms. Reeves has her hand.
Hey, Dr. Lamb, I have a question in reference to South Carolina. Do you have to work at, like, say, if you work at a high school, but then you want to get hours at an elementary school, do you have to actually physically work in an elementary school for a couple of years? I heard something like you have to actually work. You can't just go get your practicum hours, but that you have to also work in that area a couple of years. Is that true?
Well, again, everybody's licensure path is different. When they ask us, we recommend based on where you get your clinical hours. Now, again, that's what we do. We've not had a problem with that so far. But now the state can have any requirement they want in terms of your experience. But in terms of, we're asked to sign off on the clinical piece. Now, if they add that on the backside, that's up to them. But again, you have to, when you go to South Carolina, they do everybody as an individual. You have to submit your credentials there. There is no, it's the same way for everybody. Because I was working on a case yesterday for a fellow that got in touch with me. And that's the aggravating part of South Carolina is everybody, they have a portal and you have to submit your credentials and they tell you. And the only piece that we can do and what we do is we certify your clinical and say this person is eligible for this license based on their clinical. Now, if there's something on the backside of that, if they don't like your experience level, that's between you and them in terms of where you work. But that's a good point. But they just ask us based on where they did their clinical, what do you recommend them to be? And that's why I said you can kind of fix that on our end. Now, on the back end, on the experience side, if they have a different requirement, again, you have to adjudicate that with South Carolina, with the Department of Education. I can't fix you. I can't help you on the experience side. I can only help you on the clinical side. But that's a great question. You need to follow through. But again, they won't give a blanket statement. South Carolina does not say everybody that falls into this category, this is what happens. They make you submit your credentials and they tell you in South Carolina, which is completely different than North Carolina in terms of how you get your license. That is correct. I was in the portal earlier today, in South Carolina's portal this morning. And it's aggravating, all the stuff that they have. I have a fellow with a doctorate in curriculum instruction, and I can't figure out a way for the life of me to get him a license. He wasn't one of our students. I don't know why he came to me, but people do all the time. Trying to figure out licensure issues. His doctorate's in C&I, but you know, I don't have much relief for him either. They'll have to adjudicate him, and they'll tell him what path he'll have to take. Questions you have for me? Have we answered all the questions tonight? Again, we're working on, for the 17th time, I'm working on trying to get you folks finishing this summer a second master's degree if you want one. I have not achieved that yet. I have done that for the folks finishing the fall. You will have the option, as you know, to get your second master's in the fall. But all I can do is try to figure out some way around this. And again, but I don't want it to be something that's going to cost $6,500. That's not viable. That's not good. I'm trying to figure out something that no cost or very low cost. No cost is always preferable, but low cost would be good. And I worry that if we extend you, you won't be able to get your license at the end of the summer. That might cause a problem as well. So all those things are in the hopper right now with DPI, and it's every day. I work on this every day, trying to get something done. So if you worry them long enough, they'll generally give you what you want. So we'll do what we can. All right, I think our hour is up. Time flies when you're having fun. So I want to wish everybody good luck this summer. Get your hours and your time in. That's the biggie. Yes, Shanae, you can. Just call me on the phone. So yeah, make sure you get your 80 hours this summer. That's it. The program's the same for everybody else. Just make sure you get your 80 hours. You know what you got to do. Everybody here is a veteran. No hand holding, no crying in school administration. Let's just move on and get our hours this summer and get it done. All right. I will see those of you in my classes. I'll see you Tuesday and Wednesday nights. I'm so excited. I'm sitting here now. I just can't wait. I was giggling a while ago. I was so excited about having class Tuesday and Wednesday night, but I got myself under control. So I will see you all soon. As soon as I have any information, as you know, I'll share it with you. Everybody have a good summer. If you got any questions about your classes, got problems with your shells, get in touch with me. If you got task stream issues, get in touch with me. I'll fix all of those and we'll move right on. All right. Everybody have a good week. Thank you for joining us as always.
Thank you.